So I'm back home now. Tour de France is finished for me. It's now Wednesday night. We finished on Sunday on the Champs-Elysees around the Arc de Triomphe, then had a night out on the Bateau Mouche in Paris on Sunday. It was all very, very good. So yeah, I guess the key question then is really just how hard is it to ride the Tour de France? And I think my answer is it's very, very hard. And I guess the baseline for that is without blowing my own trumpet, I'm quite a competent, quite a good, fit, healthy cyclist. Sort of good club standard, I suppose you might sort of define it as. And it's still very hard. Being able to crunch some numbers, I won't bore everyone with the science. But I think I worked out that my biggest week of training was still probably only between a third and a half of the full intensity of a week on the tour. So if you sort of think about that, about running a marathon, that would be like saying, I'm going to run a marathon, but I'm only going to do about 8 or 9 miles distance in training and then run the marathon. And I don't think anybody would do that, would they? But that's the level of sort of jump up there is. I mean, the easy way to do it is obviously to devote your whole life to it, like being a professional. I'm having the luxury of being able to train for like 5 or 6 hours every day, which is about what a professional does. But without that, is a significant jump up in intensity from what anybody is used to and anybody's used to doing. And I think that's the sort of the most obvious reason why it's so hard. I think there's other things as well. One is recovery. Any sort of training program, any endurance training program always stresses the importance of recovery. Getting days off. That's when the body adapts and everything like that. You just don't get that during 21 days. You get 2 rest days, but the first block was like 9 days, 9 full days, quite solid. So you just don't get that recovery time. I think the other thing that most people don't appreciate, and why would you, is just the sheer amount of moving around, the constant travel. And what I mean by that is, my life for the last 3 weeks has been, sort of ride a bike for 7-8 hours every day. And then at the end of the day, you're immediately into washing your kit, sorting out your bike, having a massage, eating some more food, rehydrating, having dinner, going to sleep, waking up, having breakfast, and then actually transfers as well. And this is important. So most people instinctively think, well, Tour de France, you ride from A to B, then the next day you ride from B to C. You don't, or very rarely do you. You normally ride from A to B, and then the next day you ride from C to D, and B to C might be a few hours away. So, you've just got that constant sort of constant movement. And I think with that comes a lot of sort of mental stress that you don't really think about as well, which is, just that feeling of, I've slept in 16, 17 different hotel rooms for the last 21 days. So I've barely unpacked, barely seen the bottom of my kit bag. You just take out what you need and put it in, and then load it back on the coach the next morning. So and that I think adds to quite a lot of the stress. I think there are other mental stresses as well. Much as I'd like to ride a bike 7, 8, 9 hours every day, and particularly when you're riding with others in a group, again, it's just tiring from a mental perspective because you're always sort of concentrating on where you're going, finding the route, concentrating on what's going on around you. Some of these, certainly some of the downhills, you're talking, you might be doing 50, 60, 70k an hour. You really need to sort of keep your wits about you to make sure that nothing untoward happens. So, and again, that all just adds up to that mental stress. So I think it's, I think I'd summarize by saying it is hard. It's really hard. It's very hard. It's not impossible. Of 55 who started out in Bilbao, I think 50 finished. So it's far from impossible. It's a great challenge. If you're interested and get the chance, then I thoroughly recommend it. And Le Loop is a great charity to support. And so with that, I'm going to sign off. That's going to be the end of my vlogs for 2023 Le Loop. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope it's been interesting, informative, and yeah, hopefully see you out on the road soon. Bye.